Hello, 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 everyone. What is going on? James here, Jimmy C. Welcome back. And today I am here with Mr. Liam.
Hello there.
And first and foremost, Happy New Year. We was actually meant to do this podcast like a week ago, but I had a really, really bad cold and I could not do it, man. I couldn't do it. But I guess this is a nice way to kick off the year podcast wise. With a reaction to a few of your videos. So, without further ado, I guess let's do it then. So, first video we got is Battle for Bikini Bottom. Rehydrated is good, but not great. Blasphemy! No, but I mean, as a remake, it isn't. As a remake, it's a bit crap.
Yeah, like some people love it, like, but I'm not crazy about it. Like, you know, some people.
No, but I think if you played the original, you might. I think it would be a great game for you if you played the original because there's less bugs, it flows better. It doesn't. It has a more unique look and it doesn't like kill you with brightness, you know. But yeah, I personally think as a remake, it's not that good, but as a game itself, I guess it's just as good as the original, I suppose.
Channel. The following review. This is the gaming channel. The following review will contain spoilers.
Like in the background music.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a remake of the original Battle for Bikini Bottom game, the first being released in 2003 and the remake in 2020. I never played the original, so playing the updated version of a game first would prove to be an interesting experience for me. Overall, I think the game is good, but not fantastic. The visuals are one of the best. Overall,
I was going to say with the opening cutscene, because I know it's meant to be set in the night time, isn't it? I think. And then in the original, it just looked like the lighting looked like it was at daytime. And then they went to sleep and woke up the next day after they'd made the magic wish for the robots to be real or whatever. So I suppose this is a minor improvement, making it actually look like it's nighttime somewhat.
I think.
And downtown Bikini Bottom's actually right next to, looks really close here, which is weird.
Yeah.
Well, when you open it in the normal game, it's considered.
The game is good, but not fantastic. The visuals are one of the best aspects about it. The colours are bright and vibrant, while the game looks graphically polished.
Yeah, but I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I get why you would like the brightness, but I sort of just think it's too bright, especially Goo Lagoon.
An interesting move in this remake was I guess. Decision to use the original recorded dialogue from 2003 and remaster it. This decision was and is something I'm okay with. Consequently, the voice actors for Mr. Krabs and Mermaid Man remain the same, not the original voice actors from the show. Clancy Brown voiced Mr. Krabs in the show, and Ernest Borgnine as Mermaid Man, but they didn't voice their characters in Battle for Bikini Bottom. As a result, Joe...
I just wonder why...
Nine as Mermaid
Man. I know
Man,
Clancy Brown, he charges an arm and a leg for his voice acting, and also he was busy doing Jack 2 at the time. Phenomenal performance. As Praxis or Draxis. I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember the villain's name now. I think it is Praxis. Yeah, Baron Praxis. I think. Villain.
You've always seen quite a few villains.
Who else has he done out of interest? I can't think off the top of my head. Baron Praxis.
He voices Surtur in Thor Ragnarok, you know, the massive the one who's meant to bring about Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, the one who's big giant who smashes up the building, yeah.
Yeah. And he voices a villain in Star Wars Bounty Hunter as well. Like I guess he's like the arch enemy of Django or whatever. Trying to think. He's in. He's actually in Shawshank Redemption as well.
I know. Yeah, he's the police guard. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so I guess he's. Is he evil in that? I don't
know. He's more of a job's worth in that to me. Because he just when he gets arrested at the end, he just sort of takes it on the chin. He's like, for fuck's sake. Oh, for God's sake, George, you blocked. You've just. I don't understand why you do this, man.
Yes, he's got many.
You should watch the Cartwright Institute. Well, that's a load of fucking dog shit. Ban the user once again. George, I don't know what you think when you have a picture like that and you call it ALP versus Make-A-Wish, whatever. Well, no, mate, I might as well say it as a Make-A-Wish. ALP versus Make-A-Wish kids, and you have the picture of me and Ben that you've re-edited. I don't see why you think anything else would happen apart from you getting banned, you fool. You know, ridiculous.
Voice their characters in Battle for Bikini Bottom. As a result, Joe White voiced both characters. As I played through the game and got used to Joe White's portrayal of Mr. Krabs' voice, I warmed to it and thought he did a decent job. As for Mermaid Man, I wouldn't say he was as consistent. There were times where he did sound like Ernest Borgnine's Mermaid Man, but there were too many times where he didn't really sound like he had an old voice and was someone imitating an old man's voice. Despite that, he didn't do a bad job as Mermaid Man. While the game is graphic...
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, redoing dialogue, it would be a bit of a ball ache for Purple Lamp Studios. And, you know, they have crunch time, they have to get the games out and done, don't they? And with this, it was just to, wasn't it just to promote Camp Coral or something, this game? So they wanted it out really quick.
How was it? I don't know.
I think it was. I think my mate Scott told me. I think it was just, well, it was just to help promote Camp Coral. It's given a horrendous rating. Bloody hell. Oh, wait, no, I'm getting it mixed up, I think. I think the movie, yeah, the movie, the SpongeBob third movie, that was just there to promote Camp Coral. I got it wrong, my bad. SpongeBob movie 3. That's what I think my mate Scott was telling me. Yeah, Sponge on the Run, yeah. I think that was just there to promote Camp Coral, I think. She's got the one bloke whose voice acting in it is the bloke who gets his head blown off in Breaking Bad on the tortoise. Crazy. But yeah, I guess with crunch time, they want to get these things out and they don't want to have to remake everything.
Graphically polished, I can't say
revoice everything.
The same for the remake on the whole. Numerous bugs and oversights exist. One such bug occurred when I took a taxi from downtown Bikini Bottom to SpongeBob's house when I was playing as Sandy. This allows you to play as Sandy in SpongeBob's house, something that
you know, in the original game, the taxi actually physically took you on the screen, but yet in this, it's a keyframed still picture. I mean, lazy.
Yeah, it is. That's disappointing.
Lazy.
To hear that, yeah.
Like in the original, it is an actual taxi. While in this, it's just a fucking picture. It's like
SpongeBob's house when I was playing as Sandy. This allows you to play as Sandy in SpongeBob's house, something that shouldn't be possible because you can't play as her in Bikini Bottom, only SpongeBob. If you interact with the same objects you are able to with SpongeBob, it will work.
It's very trippy when that happens, when SpongeBob's voice comes out of Sandy.
SpongeBob is meant to speak, you'll see Sandy instead, and she's speaking his dialogue in his voice, and her mouth is moving too. It's a funny bug, but one that really should have been fixed by the time I started playing the game in January. Another example was after Robo Patrick did his industrial waste spin attack, and I could hear a continuous looping sound effect which didn't stop until after the cutscene that plays once you defeat the boss. Unfortunately, during this cutscene and another one which played during the boss fight, the sound effect can be constantly heard. Therefore, it was difficult to hear what the characters were saying. This bug was one.
No, it was near impossible though. It was just like jab, 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 jab.
Yeah. I know, it's just like, really? Battle for Bikini Bottom's story is pretty simple, as Plankton plans to steal the Krabby Patty formula, something he's always trying to do in the show. With his Duplicatotron 3000, he clones an army of robots to wreak havoc in Bikini Bottom.
You know what? I don't like this one as well. I know what it is. I'm tempted to ban it.
I know, it's George's, I don't know, 85th altar count.
Yeah. Suck it up, Buttercup. You should listen to some... No, we're not doing that, George. I mean, I can't believe you've called... I'll let this slide. I know what the reference is to, but it's just... I'm not going to keep banning your account unless you put something stupid in the comments again. But suck it up, Buttercup. George, you had a bloody hissy fit when we took over your channel and we're just going, eat. So you can't really... come out with bloody madness and not expect to get banned.
Your or SpongeBob's aim is to defeat the robot menace by collecting shiny objects, which can be spent on golden spatulas, and which can unlock more areas. Golden spatulas are also found throughout Bikini Bottom and the other locations in the game. When SpongeBob leaves his house, he speaks to Plankton, and Plankton manipulates him into helping him stop the robots, and makes a deal where he will give SpongeBob a lot.
I do like how in the remake you can actually see the top of the sea, which is nice. Not just an endless sky.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah. Of golden spatulas, if he helps him get back into the chum bucket, which SpongeBob unsurprisingly accepts because he is gullible, like his friend Patrick. Plankton is purposefully not good at being a villain, as in this conversation and others he has with SpongeBob throughout the story, it is obvious that he is behind the robot menace, and he essentially gives this away multiple times in conversations with SpongeBob. He even forgot to make the robots obey him by forgetting to set the Duplicatortron switch to obey. Despite SpongeBob, with the help of Patrick and
I love Squidward's face, bloody hell.
Sandy playing into his hands and getting enough golden spatulas to allow himself, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, and Plankton to get into the lab, Plankton still doesn't regain control of his robots due to the fact that they are obeying his robot version. He made a robot version of himself, and a massive robot version of SpongeBob with a Duplicatortron. Robo SpongeBob, with the assistance of Robo Plankton, serves as the final boss of the game. This final boss, and finale, did not disappoint. SpongeBob defeats his robotic version, and all that's left is to deal with the rest of the robots left in Bikini Bottom. After the original ending, once you defeat the last boss, there is another you can watch when you've collected all the golden spatulas. This ending simply consists of the game's characters singing the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song in the Krusty Krab. I found this 100% ending to be a bit disappointing, but I believe that mainly kids will like it.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, in 2003, I think this would have been a sick extra to have. But I feel like for this version, they should have tried to at least do something different. I know they like to try and keep it the same to a T, but I would have liked to have seen some sort of different 100% ending, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you have an easy fit every stream when you kick me. Yeah, because you put stuff on here that can get the channel banned, you fool. That's why, when we're taking over your stream, we're not making baseless claims or going ballistic or anything. We're just having a bit of a laugh. While you go bloody mental and put bloody stupid pictures up, which are heavily edited and have stupidness in them.
Other boss fights include Robo Patrick and Robo Sandy, meaning that robot versions of Patrick and Sandy must have been created by Plankton with the Duplicatortron as well. The story is not hard to follow and is a fun, entertaining, enjoyable, and humorous plot which is typical of the SpongeBob SquarePants universe. Gameplay-wise, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated, is a platformer with an open-world Bikini Bottom and a fair amount of challenging gameplay, such as numerous puzzles. Numerous locations from the show can be explored, 13 of them serving as the main areas where 8 spatulas can be collected from each, with the addition of socks, Patrick's socks, that can also be obtained. Other familiar locations not featured on the map can be visited as well. These locations are smaller though. Sandy's Treehouse and the Krusty Krab are 2 of these, and while the main parts of them can be visited and explored, other rooms or parts of them we know and which appear in the show unfortunately cannot be. Although it is worth mentioning that Sandy's Treehouse and the Krusty Krab exist within Bikini Bottom, a location on the map, meaning they are parts of that location. Actual gameplay requires you to explore all of Bikini Bottom, collect golden spatulas and socks. Ways in which the spatulas can be earned include tasks and challenges, while socks are found along the way. Golden spatulas, socks, and shiny objects serve as currency, with shiny objects being the common one that can be collected all over Bikini Bottom. Spatulas unlock more locations and areas of Bikini Bottom which contain the locations on the map. I'm always a fan of open world games because of the exploration factor. Unsurprisingly, boss fights occur in the game and they get harder, more inventive, and interesting as the game progresses. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy are the 3 playable characters in the single player mode, with Patrick or Sandy serving as the alternative playable character in different locations. All 3 have a range of abilities, which all have their own uses. Personally, Sandy and SpongeBob are my favourite characters to play as, mainly due to their abilities. Every location looks familiar when compared to the show, but is reimagined for the game. I'm a fan of how all the locations look, but I prefer some more than others when it comes to what these locations require you to do in order to get more spatulas, for example. I would say my favourites are the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, SpongeBob's Dream, and Rock Bottom due to how unique they are. Every place is unique, but these three stand out more to me, thanks to what I just said, their soundtracks, how they look, how you have to traverse them, and what they require you to do, traversing them being part of that. I'll add that there's a multiplayer mode, but it's rubbish. The gameplay is repetitive and it can quickly get boring. It would for me anyway. The sound and sound design includes sounds and sound effects heard in the show, as well as others which fit in the game. There are a number of instances where sound effects are missing or lacking. Bugs could be at play here, but who knows? The music used for every location on the map suits the place. My favourite soundtracks are the ones used in Goo Lagoon, SpongeBob's Dream, and The Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. Regardless, they're all great and are good to listen to. This game's soundtrack really is a highlight of the game. In conclusion, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a fun and challenging but flawed game. Problems which I've mentioned that are associated with the game still need to be fixed. Hopefully they are, yet that is looking less and less likely. When it comes to bugs, what I can at least say is from memory, none of them were game breaking and do not affect your progression through the game, even though some do affect your experience. Thanks to these problems, it seems like the game is rushed and a remake of a game shouldn't have all of these issues. Ideally, it needs to be as good as the original, if not better, while providing improvements. Either way, this is not a bad game and I recommend it. I imagine that many SpongeBob fans will get much enjoyment out of it. Thanks for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe for more reviews because I'll be working on more for the other games I've done playthroughs of on the channel. Also, look out for other gaming content and even the odd bit not related to gaming. That is all.
Yeah, video as good as I remember it. Good points indeed. Said what needed to be said. Cool that you reviewed it. Have you played much more of the movie game yet, or?
No, not really. But I need to get back to it. I've kind of been playing like I've been playing the 2 games I got for my birthday as well.
What were they again?
The Robocop game and Super Mario RPG, which is the remake of the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
fair enough, man.
They've been good so far.
So George has put should have had an ending like GTA 5. So what, SpongeBob either kills Patrick or Sandy, or they all team up and kill Plankton. I mean, they wouldn't need to go on some big mission and then chuck him in a boot of a car and then push him off the edge. Sandy or Patrick could just, well, any of the characters could just sit on him, so or step on him. So they wouldn't need to go through all that trouble, would they? Or they could just, well, actually, he's got no power because the robots, they don't even need to take care of him actually because the switch is on don't obey. So I don't know how they would have done that as a GTA 5. I don't know why SpongeBob would have killed Patrick or Sandy, but yeah. Come on, it's just stuck on. No, oh. Don't worry. World of Warcraft meme. Oh, okay. George being a funny edgelord as always. Well, let's move. Have you got anything you want to say about the video? I thought you said what needed to be said, but have you got anything you?
I feel like watching it back. I don't know. It's I feel like I've improved since then. Like I feel like maybe I could have maybe made that review a bit more polished, like just in terms of the editing, and maybe just when I use the images of the voice actors, I feel like that could have looked a bit tidier. And I don't know, maybe I could have used more transitions. I guess for that one, I just decided not to use so many transitions. But I kind of feel like as well, I feel like I could have had a bit more energy maybe in my commentary and my voiceover. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's decent, but you know,
I think this one's
I guess it's just a sign of when I made it. So
yeah, I think this one's definitely a step up.
Is the gaming channel. Like this is the gaming channel. LEGO Star Wars, the video game, is a classic, one of my childhood games which I got many hours and enjoyment out of. It's worth noting that this LEGO game was the first in a series of the type of LEGO games that exist today. LEGO Star Wars, the video game, started it all. It retells the prequel trilogy, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in LEGO form, and it's a pleasure to see. So, what makes this game a classic? Let's review the game and find out. When concerning the story, there are levels based off events in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The Phantom Menace has 6, Attack of the Clones has 5, and Revenge of the Sith has 6, making a total of 17 levels. However, there are actually 18 because there is a door with a question mark above it next to the Episode 3 door. This is a secret bonus level called A New Hope. It can only be unlocked.
Yeah, you've got 4 million coins. Jeez. Damn.
Yeah, that's my first. It's my first save data from that I've had for years.
Oh, okay. So you just
I went back on that one to play through that level. Yeah, because I hadn't unlocked A New Hope in my second save data I made for the playthrough. So by collecting enough LEGO studs in a level to fill the stud meter to 100% in all the prequel trilogy missions. In later LEGO Star Wars games, filling the LEGO stud meter to 100% would achieve True Jedi. Although in this one, doing this unlocks a super kit piece. Each prequel trilogy level provides a super kit piece that builds the Tantive 4 once all 17 have been earned through filling the stud meter to 100%. The bonus level, A New Hope, is based off the opening scene that takes place aboard the Tantive 4 in Episode 4, A New Hope. In a twist, you get to play as 2 evil or dark side characters, Darth Vader, who is referred to as another version of Anakin Skywalker in this game, and a Stormtrooper. In this case, the enemies are good or light side characters in the form of Rebel Troopers. C-3PO becomes a playable character later on, and the final cutscene shows C-3PO finding Princess Leia and R2-D2 before ending with "to be continued," implying that this game would have a sequel. People playing the game back in 2005 must have been delighted to discover.
Yeah, I was absolutely lit. I was like, "Wow, there's going to be another one," and then we only had to wait a year, didn't we?
Yeah.
George, I have no idea what you're talking about. Why would the game have that in the first place? I don't get it. Because I know I sent that crazy meme earlier with the cars meme from Instagram, where it's the VWs are going mental, and I put it's the MGs trying to take over the world. But you actually can get the Cars game on Steam, which is pretty cool because it feels like a lot of licensed games, unless it's like Star Wars, aren't available on Steam. I think you can get Cars for like 15 quid. I don't know how well it runs or whatever. I'm guessing it must go okay.
Oh, is that the game based off the first film then, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I remember having it. I don't know if there's that one. I'm not sure whether I remember having that on the PS2 years ago. I remember getting it for one Christmas, but I think I got rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like
I should check those out then.
It just seemed like Steam have given it a 9 out of 10. It just felt like a really standard game. Actually, I wouldn't even. It felt standard for a licensed game. It just seemed like a run-of-the-mill, boring game. It wasn't like horrendous or anything. I think I got Cars 2 as well. Cars 2 the game, or it might have been one in between. Cars 2 the game, I'm not sure. Bloody hell, the graphics look a bit creepy. And it's on Steam. Bloody hell, it's actually on Steam.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
I thought they would have just given up after the first one, but you can get it for... Well, the sale's still on. You can get it for £5 instead of £16.75. Sod me, they can shove that up their arse. Goodness gracious.
Be a LEGO Star Wars 2. Before you can even start playing through a level, you start in Dexter's Diner, which serves as the hub world. Here you can access all the levels, buy hints, characters and extras, enter cheat codes, which unlock characters and extras, but you still have to buy them to be able to play as them, and see the characters you've unlocked walking around inside the diner. You can go outside the diner too, and see characters wandering around there also. Something I got a lot of fun out of as a kid was when light side characters would fight dark side characters. You see more good characters walking about, but as soon as an evil one comes out the diner, and or is spotted outside, a battle or multiple battles ensue. In this area, you can look at the progress of all your mini-kits by seeing how much of a vehicle has been built. If you've got all 10 mini-kits in a level, the completed vehicle can be seen, and is named too. The Super Kit vehicle, Tantive 4, has its own section in this area as well. Moving back to the missions, when you create a new game, you can only play the first mission of Episode 1. Once you complete it in story mode, Episode 2 and 3 are unlocked, and you can start playing through the levels for those two films as well. Certain significant events that happened in the prequel trilogy unfortunately didn't get their own levels. Examples were Mace vs Palpatine or Sidious, Yoda vs Sidious, the asteroid field chase between Obi-Wan and Jango Fett, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan and Jar Jar Binks in the Tri-Bubble Bongo being chased by sea creatures, and Qui-Gon's first duel with Maul on Tatooine. Understandably though, Traveller's Tales, the developers, had budget and time constraints. The game had to be released before Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith was released in cinemas, and it ended up coming out mere weeks before the film. This game served as merchandise for that film and was one of the many products which promoted it. In addition, only so many levels could be created and included. A fair amount of what would happen in Revenge of the Sith was revealed in the game, and if any more levels were included, more of the film would be spoilt. What's worth noting is that as LEGO Star Wars video game is the first entry in Traveller's Tales series of LEGO games, it is simpler and more stripped back in terms of replayability. There was no progress percentage.
I like how it actually shows you the amount of stuff you've collected. That's pretty cool. But I guess as you mentioned,
I suppose that's the difference. Yeah.
There was no progress percentage, was there? So
no, yeah. Fully completed the game, you need to play through every prequel trilogy level in story mode, earn the super kit piece in every one, get all 10 mini kits in each, complete the bonus level, A New Hope, which has no mini kits, and buy all the hints, extras, and characters. It's easier to get the super kit piece and only possible to get all 10 mini kits by playing through a level again in free play, except for Mos Espa Pod Race, Gunship Cavalry, and Battle Over Coruscant, the 3 levels where you don't play as a LEGO character, but as a Star Wars vehicle instead. These levels can only be played in story mode as the vehicle that was piloted during the scene the level is based off. Therefore, there is no free play mode allowing you to play as other vehicles, so you have to get all 10 mini kits in story mode. Anyway, let's now talk about free play, another highlight of this game, allowing you to play through a level again, but as any character you've unlocked. Characters you control in a level are unlocked and available to play as straight away once you complete a level for the first time in story mode, while other characters that feature in levels such as enemies or bosses are unlocked in Dexter's Diner, and then have to be bought in order to play as them. In total, there are 56 playable characters. Understandably, as this is not story mode and you're playing as different characters who did not appear in the scenes the levels are based off, there are no cutscenes, and the good thing about this is that it speeds things up. You can start playing a level sooner, while in story mode, the cutscenes cannot be skipped, yet they are short and entertaining. When it comes to continuity, there are some differences between the levels and the films. One instance is that in the penultimate level of the Phantom Menace, you rescue the captive Naboo pilots at the end, while in the film they are rescued during the escape from Naboo, so you'd think this objective would be present in the third level, Escape from Naboo, rather than the fifth one, Retake Theed Palace. Despite these continuity differences, the story of the prequel films are captured with fun and charm, while you get the gist of what's happening in them. Most of the levels require you to progress on foot, with the inclusion of defeating enemies, overcoming obstacles, and completing puzzles. There are only 3 missions where you don't play as LEGO Star Wars characters and do not progress on foot. Chapter 4 of Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, Mos Espa Pod Race, Chapter 4 of Attack of the Clones, Gunship Cavalry, and Chapter 1 of Revenge of the Sith, Battle Over Coruscant. These levels consist of different gameplay as you pilot a vehicle instead. In Mos Espa Pod Race, you control Anakin's Pod Racer, Gunship Cavalry has you controlling a Republic gunship, and Battle Over Coruscant takes place in space with the player controlling a Jedi Starfighter. These 3 levels are more linear than the others because you are only able to go in one direction and you can't really explore them in the same way as the rest of the game's levels, but they provide alternative gameplay and are a different type of level. Mos Espa Pod Race and Battle Over Coruscant are more fun than Gunship Cavalry, thanks to their better camera angle and what they require you to do. Another problem with Gunship Cavalry is that you feel like you have to constantly move forward and away from the camera, which is constantly moving, otherwise you will be forced forward. Due to these reasons, Gunship Cavalry is my least favourite level. At least the last part of Gunship Cavalry is more fun with the camera positioned behind the gunship instead, and it is a quicker segment of the level with a timer that gives you 45 seconds to complete it after giving you a head start. During my playthrough, it was a 10-second head start. What I additionally like about Mos Espa Pod Race is that it provides a challenge where you have to progress to the next area of the track or race before the timer runs out. While this can be frustrating for some, it provides an obstacle that makes the level a bit harder and will extend the time it takes to complete it as a result, making it not quite so short. My favourite levels are Negotiations, Mos Espa Pod Race, Darth Maul, Discovery on Kamino, Chancellor in Peril, General Grievous, and Darth Vader. I'd say that each level should usually take between 10 to 20 minutes to complete, which means that you could complete all of them in a couple of hours. This is a game for all the family, so the short time it takes to complete the levels is unsurprising and appropriate. As this is the type of game that provides fun for all the family, it's not difficult, and this is reflected in the gameplay. Due to the fact this was the first LEGO game of the kind we know and love today, the gameplay is pretty simple. You mainly control LEGO versions of Star Wars characters in the third person. Different characters have different abilities. Some have more abilities than others. Jedi and Sith can walk, run, jump, double jump, an ability allowing them to get to higher places or ones which are further away, attack and defend with their lightsabers, backflip, and use the Force on certain objects. I just want to say here that I love the lightsaber moves each character has, and it is satisfying to see. You can see that their fighting style is based off their style in the films while it has been adapted for their LEGO characters. Sadly, the playable Jedi who had short amounts of screen time in the films have the same fighting style as Obi-Wan, but this decision makes sense as we don't really see their fighting styles in the prequel trilogy. If you jump once and then press the attack button, you can execute a power attack where you swipe through the air with your saber. Double jumping and then pressing the attack button enables a slam attack, which is more effective. The character lands with their saber.
Wait.
And then pressing the button, you can execute a power attack where you swipe through the air with your saber.
Hold on.
Double jumping and
how are you meant to get to that mini kit there? What's the crack with that?
Is that
one?
a mini kit up there? Is it?
Then pressing the attack button enables a power attack where you
You
swipe
must
through
have
the
to.
air
I'm
with your
guessing they
saber.
must
Double
else use
jumping and then
Force
pressing the
maybe
attack button
make
enables
like a ladder with objects or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember that in the complete saga it being that high up.
a slam attack, which is more effective.
Maybe it wasn't there.
The
in
character
that, I don't
lands
know.
with their saber slamming into the ground, having the potential to destroy multiple enemies. You can even achieve more power attacks when you time attacks right. These other attacks, where you are more offensive and vigorous, allow you to break through an enemy's guard and deal damage to them. When you time your blocks right with your saber, you can deflect blaster bolts back at the characters who fired them. Finally, when you are blocking attacks from another lightsaber-wielding opponent, at the right time you can press the jump button and your character will perform a special high jump. I like how if you are playing on your own, your computer-controlled companion can do this special jump in order to more quickly join the character you are playing as if they are controlling a Jedi or Sith character. Even if they aren't, they will change to such a character if you are in free play mode and then do the special jump. Your companion being able to do this really speeds up level progression. Therefore, there's a range of abilities the Jedi and Sith characters can perform. Characters who are not Jedi and Sith have less abilities, but they are useful in their own ways. Droids can use access panels, which include opening doors and activating platforms. Certain characters can jump and double jump even higher than Jedi and Sith. Jar Jar Binks, Grievous Bodyguard, and General Grievous can do this. The three characters here are so effective at speeding up your progression through levels due to their high jump ability, which also allows them to jump further, as I found when I played as Grievous Bodyguard recently. If that isn't enough, Grievous Bodyguard can run faster, and Jango Fett is another notable character who can. Compared to other characters in the game, bloody hell, Jango Fett runs fast and can fly continuously with his jetpack, without it deactivating after a short period of time. I've gone off on a bit of a tangent here, but the last thing I want to say regarding Jango is that after playing as him recently, he's one of my favourite characters to use. Those who wield blasters can get up to high places by firing a wire which attaches to a hook when standing in a red circle. The fact of the matter is that characters have a range of abilities, and the company which developed this game, Traveller's Tales, paid attention to detail. Jar Jar Binks can jump high in the game because there was one instance during The Phantom Menace where he did a high somersault dive into Lake Pyonga on Naboo. Yoda has his hover chair, thanks to the one time it appears and in which we see him use it in the prequel trilogy, which is during Attack of the Clones in a short scene where he's in conversation with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Mace Windu in the Jedi Temple. His hover chair allows him to move around faster and makes up for his slow walking animation when his lightsaber is deactivated. I love that these two characters have these two helpful abilities, despite only showing them once in the prequel trilogy. Overall, there are a wide variety of abilities, with some characters being capable of executing more abilities than others. An entertaining while helpful gameplay mechanic that LEGO Star Wars the video game introduced were extras, a collection of gameplay modifiers. In this game, they are all available to buy straight away, rather than having to unlock most of them through various means in order to buy them. Something you have to do in the LEGO games that would follow. LEGO Star Wars the video game has 10 extras that can be toggled on and off. The first is invincibility, the most expensive at the grand total of 1 million LEGO studs, which prevents you from losing hearts or lives. However, you can still fall to your death. Next is silhouettes, costing 75,000 studs, which turns every character into a silhouette, like a moving shadow you could say. Then there's purple at 50,000 studs, which causes every lightsaber-wielding character's lightsaber blade to turn purple, so that Mace Windu isn't alone in being the only purple lightsaber wielder in the game, but more importantly, in celebration of the one and only Mace Windu.
This party's over.
Mustaches is fourth at a price of 150,000, a comical extra that makes every character wear a good old tash for a right old laugh. Coming in fifth at the hefty sum of 750,000, we have the Minikit Detector, a tool that shows an arrow pointing to every Minikit. I think that every Minikit has an arrow above it that points down to it, so you can only see the arrow if the Minikit is low enough and is in front of you. Therefore, while the arrow is helpful if you can see it, for some Minikits you will still need to listen to where the Minikit sound is coming from to find them. Turning the game music off helps with this. The sixth extra is teacups, turning every weapon into a teacup. Again, another humorous extra which you have to spend 175,000 studs on. Costing 25,000 studs more is brushes, turning every lightsaber into a brush. So if you'd like to sweep through every level, be sure to turn on this one. The joint cheapest with a value of 50,000 is big blasters, causing blasters to be larger, with the red tip being longer.
Think maybe they're compensating for something.
Fork out 75,000 studs for classic blasters, where the blasters apparently look like they did in the original trilogy and some old Lego sets. Finally, we have silly blasters. This extra consists of the blaster having a comically big circular green tip. Most of the extras are comical rather than useful. In fact, only two of them will help you, those being invincibility and the minikit detector. Even so, this gameplay mechanic is a welcome element of this game. LEGO Star Wars doesn't have any game-breaking bugs I'm aware of, even though it has a few peculiar bugs, although whether one of them counts as a bug is another question. One example is during the General Grievous level in Revenge of the Sith. After you destroy the LEGO brick wall hiding an explosive canister, you can use the Force to move it to its intended position and destroy it before Grievous jumps up to where you'd move the canister to. If you destroy the canister before Grievous jumps up to where it would be, when he jumps up there for that section of the boss fight, he will lose a life as you have already destroyed the canister, and then jump back down. This bug functions as a shortcut that speeds up the boss fight, yet you are meant to go back up and move the canister so that it is positioned next to Grievous after he has jumped up to where you move the canister to. With the canister next to Grievous, you shoot it and it explodes, causing Grievous to lose a life and jump back down. It's a fun, time-saving shortcut I took advantage of many times when I've played the game. While it's a bug that shouldn't exist, its presence is convenient. One of the likely reasons this bug exists could be that the game was made under time constraints and there wasn't enough time to iron out the issue. Another bug I encountered happened during the Revenge of the Sith level, Defense of Kashyyyk, when I tried to destroy two of the green LEGO hedges with Yoda's slam attack. He froze in midair during the move and was stuck for a few seconds before finishing the attack and destroying the hedges.
Brilliant.
This bug might have occurred because I was positioned between the two
hedges.
I don't know whether
and
this
happened in the other LEGO Star Wars games as well.
Brush got stuck.
I can't remember it happening in TCS, to be honest.
It might not have lasted as long, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like I might have seen it in the other games. I don't know.
George just put, Liam, have you thought about reviewing the Bayonetta trilogy?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've had a little look at the gameplay, but I just don't know. I'm just not sure whether it interests me enough. I'll have to have a look into. I think I'll have to have a look at the games further. I think, see if the gameplay might interest me.
Fair enough, man.
Between the two hedges. Otherwise, during my playthrough of the game, there weren't any bugs which affected my experience of it. Visually, this game captures the LEGO look, although not everything you see on screen is made of LEGO. Much of the environments and landscapes are not, but there are still many LEGO objects present. The LEGO characters look like their real-life counterparts and were made to appear as if they were made of LEGO. Due to what can be achieved when developing a video game, the LEGO characters can perform more movements with their limbs, can be achieved when their real-life counterparts and were made...
I never noticed the LEGO Star Wars video game version of Obi-Wan Kenobi had a headset there. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, to appear as if they were
I think that figure did as well in real life.
Yeah.
When developing a video game, the LEGO characters can perform more movements with their limbs, allowing more flexibility as the characters are not made of real LEGO and can move by themselves. Apart from what I'm assuming would be a significantly harder and more time-consuming task for the developers, I think that if absolutely everything you could see was LEGO, it wouldn't have that authentic Star Wars feel. This is not purely a LEGO game, as it's also a Star Wars game, so we want to see the Star Wars environments we know and love, which look recognisable and bear resemblance to what we have seen in the prequel trilogy films, and the start of A New Hope. You could say that visually, the game mixes LEGO and Star Wars well. In keeping with the Star Wars theme, wipe transitions occur when moving to different areas that have to be loaded into the game, whether that be in Dexter's Diner, the hub world, or during levels. This transition happens every time a different area of the game has to be loaded in, preferring a wipe rather than a cut like how the Star Wars films, in this case the prequel trilogy, sometimes use wipe transitions when moving to a different scene. Graphically, excluding portable consoles, LEGO Star Wars looks impressive, considering it came out in 2005. Compared to all the LEGO games that would come after, it looks significantly inferior, and this is understandable with it being the first LEGO game made by Traveller's Tales. The game technology was older, and only so much could be accomplished. Also, the game needed to run well on the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Another visual aspect I love to look at is how the lightsabers look when characters swing them. They create light trails you would expect to see from a moving saber. This was something I was fond of noticing when swinging a blue lightsaber. LEGO Star Wars the video game takes note of the visual cues and elements Star Wars is known for. The game is visually satisfying, and most people should be able to identify that they are playing a LEGO game if they didn't know what they were playing. The sound and sound design is one of the reasons why this game is so great and is such a classic. There are sound effects from the films themselves, as well as ones created for the game which are truly memorable and have become staples of future LEGO games. Soundtracks, and even sounds made by the actors who played the Star Wars characters which made it into the game. The death sounds that some of the characters make in the game can be heard in the prequel trilogy films by the characters who made them when they were hit or killed. The LEGO Star Wars character death sounds have become another iconic and memorable aspect which began with this game, and carry over into the following LEGO Star Wars games. As for the music, the soundtracks from The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones can be heard. Additionally, the soundtrack you hear at the start of A New Hope is utilised for the secret bonus level based on the opening scene from that film. Unfortunately, none of the Revenge of the Sith soundtracks made the cut, as the game was released before the film's soundtrack was. Even though this takes away from the Revenge of the Sith levels being made a more complete experience, soundtracks from the original trilogy were used that suited the tone and atmosphere of the levels. Hearing the soundtracks that are related to or played during the scenes the levels of The Phantom Menace and Attack the Clones are based off is a joy and adds another layer to those levels. These soundtracks from the two films elevate the essence of the scenes from the films that the levels are already conveying, further enforcing that this game is a true and faithful, non-canon, adaptation of the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Duel of the Fates, a masterpiece of music, accompanies the Darth Maul level in Episode 1, making it extremely epic, as well as one of the best levels in the game. In every level, the soundtrack changes based on what you are doing. When battling enemies, it loudens and you hear a different part of the soundtrack instead. Music or parts of the music that you hear during action sequences in the films. Meanwhile, when you are not battling enemies, the soundtrack quietens and you hear a part of a soundtrack that plays during a sequence of no action or fighting in the films. The music adapting to what is happening in the level is what you want to hear, while it adds to the differing tones and atmospheres of a level. Lastly, we cannot forget how iconic soundtracks are incorporated into levels through fun and comedic means. During the first level in The Phantom Menace, Negotiations, you start in a sort of conference room that you see in the film, and there are some LEGO chairs around the table. You can use the Force to make the chairs dance and you will hear the Mos Eisley Cantina soundtrack. The one you originally hear playing in the cantina during Episode 4, A New Hope. This is a cool nod to the original trilogy. The other instance where you can listen to a soundtrack you cannot constantly hear in the background is one of my favourite things in the game, and it can be triggered in the first level of Attack of the Clones, Discovery on Kamino. There is a room you can enter, and at the other end are two Kaminoans positioned at a console. You'll also
and it keeps going as well. It doesn't have like a time limit like it does in the Complete Saga.
Speakers.
That's really cool.
In the middle is a dance floor, and when you and your companion stand on each circle that is lit up, they turn green. Once they have all been turned green, a glorious disco remix of the Star Wars theme will play. The circles that make up the dance floor will keep changing colours, and the lights on the wall begin flashing different colours too. What's even better is that as soon as the music starts playing and the lights are all flashing, the two Kaminoans run to the dance floor and start busting some moves. They each move to different parts of the dance floor from time to time as well. Unfortunately, none of the playable characters in the game can dance, but you can get around that.
If they did that on Britain's Got Talent, they'd win in a heartbeat.
And appear to dance as the character you're playing as. It's a fantastic section of the level, and is once again another highlight that I'm thankful for in this game. You get to hear a soundtrack that cannot be heard anywhere else in the game, and what a remix it is. In summary, it's clear that LEGO Star Wars the video game is the first of its kind due to lacking some features that would be introduced in the following LEGO games. Nevertheless, it recounts the events of the prequels with cutscenes that provide delightful entertainment, action and humour, all while having no dialogue, just grunts or mumbles, which adds to the humour. Action and humour, all while having no...
I don't know what it makes me laugh, but like they're looking at him pissed off, like Django's looking at him and Boba's like... Then Obi-Wan's like...
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah,
just charming, good stuff. Like you can tell they're pissed off and that they're enemies, but he's everyone's just a long-haired Chad who keeps it cool.
Just grunts or mumbles, which add to the humour, along with gameplay that is creative and fun with the music from the saga to accompany all of this. There's a fair amount of freedom and replayability, and the game is and always will be a classic that was the beginning of something special for Traveller's Tales and TT Games. A winning formula that, in my opinion, never gets old.
Bellissima! Bellissima!
Thanks for watching this review, and I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe, as I'll be streaming LEGO Star Wars 2 and the complete saga in the lead up to the release of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. That is all.
That is all fantastic. I can't believe I've gone this long without going, yes or no.
It's excruciating for you, isn't it? I was just going to say, in terms of like Jango's jetpack in this game as well, I don't think that has a time limit either. I think he'll just keep flying forever until like you stop it, compared to like the complete saga. That. Yeah, I think they changed it in the complete saga because like I think they did it for, I don't know if they did it for Boba Fett's jetpack in LEGO Star Wars 2. I'm not sure whether that's why they changed it or not.
I think eventually down the line, if James the Coltrane does well, or even if I just want to do it anyway, I might try and do a 10 to 20 minute video just waffling on about all the differences, because the way when I look at your video, there are a lot of differences that I missed, like that, for example, how the theme plays forever, that disco theme plays forever and it doesn't stop. I don't know, does it not stop in the complete saga as well, or does it stop?
No, I think it does, yeah. I think it doesn't last that long really, which is annoying, but yeah.
I noticed Dooku's ship, like some of the mini kits, they look different to the ones in TCS. So yeah, there's some differences, and I could maybe discuss like if they're good differences or bad differences, like if they're positive or if it takes away. What do you think of golf? Do you like mine? Oh, what mark of golf? Oh, well, no. It's I know that. See, it's just an edgy meme about you trying to take over the world as an MG. James, would you do a Minecraft doc? I don't know who the hell that is. Is that just meant to be me as a joke? The toxic gossip train. The toxic gossip train, misinformation. No, I wouldn't do a documentary on any YouTubers unless they were coming after me, like how the Act Man stands up for himself when other YouTubers come after him or do something very, very messed up. Yeah, the Disco Fall, that was cool. George, you should have played LEGO Star Wars 2 when you had the PS2. I love LEGO games comedy. Fair dues. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, George. I'm not doing that. What were you going to say, Liam?
No, I was just agreeing with that. What George said there. Yeah.
I mean, will you be doing that, Liam, on your own stream if George requested you to?
Not happening. I think George would be more than willing to do it, but
yeah. James would melt like the guy in Indiana Jones if he didn't do yes or no every 24 hours. Maybe true.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Not other YouTubers on Minecraft. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some retrospectives on Minecraft. There's just so much shit to talk about, isn't there? That's the thing. Like, there's Minecraft, the base game, where you just beat the Ender Dragon. There's creative mode. There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about, to be fair. There's mods. There's game modes like Minecraft survival games and different games, Minecraft survival games, Skyblock and all them. There's parkour, jazz, there's all sorts of there. Yeah, it'd be cool. And different ports. Oh, okay, I didn't realize. Well, you should, if I were you, now that you got the PS5. Oh, yeah, this is an interesting thing I wanted to bring up to you, Liam. George has told me he thinks that the PS5 is the greatest console of all time. Do you think, where would you put it on your list out of interest? Would you say it's like top 5 or top 3 or number 1?
It's definitely top 5. I don't know whether it'd be number one, but I can understand the argument for that.
Yeah, because it's got all sorts of games on there. It's very trendy. It's got the PlayStation Plus stuff, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it just helps that, like Nintendo, they've got a lot of good exclusives as well. I don't know. Like I say, it'd definitely be top 5. I don't know that'd be number 1, but
But he was telling me the PS5 blows the Switch out of the water, which I was very shocked to hear.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the PS5's up here, then the Switch is like here, then every other console's below, which, I mean, I don't know. I just have to play some games that are exclusive to the PS5 down the line. Oh, actually, no, I'll just play it at George's for a bit, won't I? So
yeah, you can do that.
I'll be able to give my take on it as a console at that point. But yeah, what I was going to say, George, on the PS5, get the games that you can get that are exclusive on PS2 and PS5, or games that came out on PS2 and PS3 that you couldn't get. Get games that were exclusive on PS2 and PS3, or games that came out on there that you can't get on the PS5. That's what I was trying to say. Because then you'd have a good collection. There's a new update, some biomes and mods. Oh, cool. I guess maybe someday down the line. I don't know. I just feel like if I criticise it, you'd be like, what a fucking twat! Have you got Minecraft on the PS5 out of interest, George? Because I know it's you. You're a big fan of that.
Is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020?
All right. So, before we start this, what did you think of your rewatching your Lego Star Wars video game? Is a classic.
I thought it held up pretty well. I thought it held up better than the SpongeBob review. I thought it was edited better. Of course, it was much more detailed as well. I went into much more detail about it. Yeah, I guess it was more polished. So, yeah, I thought it was a significant improvement over the SpongeBob review.
Yeah, fair dues. Yeah, I mean, I know I mentioned it at the time, and I mention it now. I do feel like, I was thinking to myself, bloody hell, the Lego Star Wars video game, how are you going to add to the massive pot of what's already been said about the game for years and years and years, and all the things that have been said about the levels that are on Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which originally came from Lego Star Wars: The Video Game? How are you going to add to the pot? But in my opinion, you did. You mentioned some key differences and went into a lot of detail and made some good points. Yeah, I do like it better than the... I was more hyped for the SpongeBob review, to be honest, because it seemed like some of that was more out of your comfort zone when it comes to games. But I think objectively, yeah, that one was very well made and well done, and holds it better.
Thank you. Is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 worth playing in 2022?
That's the end then. Thanks for watching.
That's a question I'll answer in this video based off when I played through the game recently. If you like this type of content, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to see more. Now, let's begin. Even though this game came out for the Nintendo Switch in November of 2019, I've had Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 since December 2020. I didn't even bother to start playing through the story mode till just before I went on holiday towards the start of...
I like how in this one you're actually using the soundtrack from the game. That's pretty cool.
I think that's something I'm going to do more now.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's an easy thing to do in it. And the thing is as well, it's good music that's used in the games, and there's a very low chance that most of it's going to get copyrighted, as streamers use it a lot. So, and they don't get copyrighted or took down.
Then I played through much of the story while on holiday and finally finished it when I came back home. Like a number of games I've played which are not just single-player story-focused titles, the story proved to be longer than I thought it would be, boasting 20 chapters jumping back and forth between the modern-day Tokyo Olympics in 2020 and the year the event previously occurred in 1964.
Appropriately, when playing the sequences set in 2020, the graphics take on a modern 3D appearance, while 1964 uses retro 2D graphics, specifically the 8-bit and 16-bit styles. Mario has his 8-bit look, while Sonic has his 16-bit look. The modern and retro art styles both look appealing to the eye on the Switch, and I feel like the 2D look is given that extra bit of oomph in HD. I believe the story itself is entertaining, and as this is a sports game, it isn't anything revolutionary. And this isn't expected from a game which isn't focused on the single-player story aspect. But I liked the way it was told. It offers twists and turns, and the soundtrack is a high point of the game, which adds to the differing tones and atmospheres the story is trying to convey. To be honest, as the dialogue being spoken by the characters is displayed on screen and is not spoken, the music is a vital component. However, like other games which approach the story like this, one example being Team Sonic Racing, the same music is played at points of the story which match the mood of the track being played. Therefore, there aren't a wide variety of soundtracks, so it's lacking in that area. But I don't really mind that in a game like this, and if I like the music I can hear, even better. And that's the case with this game's story, and the music in the entire game. The music in some of the sports makes you feel pumped, and there's an upbeat, party-filled vibe to it, which makes these sports all the more enjoyable to play. Going back to the story, the fact that 20 chapters were created to tell it shows that plenty of effort was put in, and that it wasn't rushed so that it could serve as a quick, meaningless mode that could be cast aside in favour of other modes. Numerous locations in Tokyo can be visited with reasonably sized maps for each. There's also more to do outside the main story, giving the story mode more significance and purpose. There's over 30 events that can all be played individually, taking place in 2020 and 1964. Therefore, there's plenty of fun to be had here, along with a range of difficulties if you want more of a challenge. Like with previous Mario and Sonic entries, Dream events return in this title, and just in case you didn't know, you could say they are glorified versions of the original events they're putting a spin on, and are enjoyable to play, that's for sure. Personally, I'd say my favourite events are Dream Racing, Table Tennis, Badminton, and Boxing. Table tennis, badminton, and boxing also have 3 of my favourite soundtracks in the game.
I didn't know you'd be a fan of boxing. Double Jeff
I just like how it plays in this game. I don't know. I just think it's enjoyable, yeah, with the music as well. So
I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you all. This is the gaming channel. There you go, Liam. That's it. Good moves. It's a shame when I actually tried to show you and George. Well, I was trying to show George how to box because with the way he acts, he's going to get lamped one of these days. With what he puts online, all this edgy madness, I'm trying to show him how to box properly, and all he does is bloody try and assault you and nearly break my phone. Pathetic. Very ungrateful.
Oh yeah. Very.
Yeah. I'll try and pass more of my knowledge on to you, Liam, because George clearly uses it for evil. So
I appreciate that, yep.
BS Plus is fantastic. Should I do a my top 10? Yeah, bro, that'd be epic, man. The more content you get out there, the better. You might as well try and put stuff out there. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I'd love to hear what you think your top 10 PlayStation exclusives are. Okay, cool. Let me know if it's any good. You and Liam could start a Minecraft world or something. That'd be pretty bants.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't got it on.
That contributes towards them. Actually, do I have it on? I don't know. Being in my favourite sports to play. The gameplay for each event is not that complicated, and while some events will require more practice than others, I like the simplicity and look of the gameplay, as well as how the animations occur on screen, even if the animations for characters in some of the events don't have much to offer. A fair amount of characters are available to play as, with more being unlocked as you play through the story. Unfortunately, there are 11 less characters to control compared to the previous Mario and Sonic game. You also cannot play as a Mii either. Whether these aspects are deal breakers or not is down to you, but it would have made sense to have more or at least the same number of characters as the last game in the series. However, when it comes to all the characters you can play as in this game, I can somewhat understand why they are the only ones who are playable, with no added extras. I don't mind the decision to have less characters and being unable to play as a Mii, but you would have thought that with a new Mario and Sonic game comes more playable characters than the last, and maybe the option of being able to play as a Mii still being there. As a final note, before I conclude the review, from what I've seen of the online mode, I think you could have tons of fun playing against people. But I haven't played it myself, as I've never had a Switch Online membership. Is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 playing in 2022? Personally, the answer to that question is yes. It's the latest Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games title, and it still delivers the thrills and enjoyment previous entries have offered. The soundtrack has some right gems. And I believe this game offers more replayability than other recent Mario sports games, with its wide selection of events and, for the first time in the series, a story mode that has extra challenges and mini-games which you can play individually in the game room section once you've unlocked them through story mode. You can even play events in the previous Tokyo Olympics, which offers an alternative experience due to the retro 2D graphics and being limited to button controls. Therefore, why not give this game a go? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Be sure to give this video a like if you did, and maybe even subscribe to see more content like this, as well as reviews, playthroughs, and game clips. Enjoy the rest of your day, and that is all.
Yeah, very good. I like the way you ended that as well with the
that is all.
With them two clashing fades to white, and you got the tick, 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 tick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool. I like how you used the music in this one. Could have done with some more edits, like maybe some more keyframes or a few more images here and there. But the points you brought up are pretty cool. The footage you used matched up with what you were saying. I do like how it you know, with older gameplay, it was there was older graphics. So that's the phone, Liam, pick it up. Quick!
Third time. I don't know.
Come on, answer the phone now! It could be your workplace needing you to open up and run the gaff again. Come on.
Oh, well, they can. They can.
Did you answer it with telekinesis, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Yeah, I just just had it, lifted it up and then back down. Goodbye.
Yeah. Fair play. Can't blame me on that one. Have you got much you want to say about that video?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I can understand what you said about like maybe keyframing a bit more. Maybe I could have used a bit more footage here and there. I guess if I just had another sort of critique, I suppose maybe I could have like edited the voiceover a little bit more. Maybe like where you can hear me take a breath, perhaps. But yeah, otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. I suppose the only thing maybe as well is that maybe I could have perhaps turned my voice up a bit more compared to the music, or like adjusted the volume for both maybe at times. So yeah,
that makes sense. George making basis claims, talking absolute bollocks again, diarrhea from the mouth, and not this bit. Obviously, I always remember the OG one. Yeah, that's fair. Those online peasants won't do. I don't know what you're on about there. I did nothing to your phone. You just dropped it in fright. George, you're a moron who can't remember events properly. You tried to punch Liam, and then you knocked the phone out of Liam's hand, and it went flying. And then you were like, ah! Like it was the most I'd heard you laugh.
Okay.
I don't
know actually I don't know whether he touched the phone, but he was so close to me that I sort of just like it startled me, so I dropped the phone. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, he was still going like this.
I know he went as if he was going to actually like.
Yeah, it's just more immature, moron behaviour. For all the mocking you do of Harvey Price, George, I'd trust him a lot more with teaching him combat than you. You know. With all the mocking you do of Harvey Price, I'd rather have him around making videos with him than you causing a ruckus and doing edgy memes all the time. So it's only 13 quid for Minecraft. That's really good, yeah. James, your hair looks like a Curtin 1900s guy. I don't know. There isn't like a part, you know. Well, I guess there's a small part in there, but a curtain's like when you have like the middle of your hair separated.
Yeah, when the part is in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, so you failed with that insult, George. Mine is like a flock of seagulls. So, I guess I look like a flock of seagulls. But new hair, new year, isn't it? So yeah. So you failed with that one, George. George, your hair looks like bloody a bowl cut. It looks like a homeless bowl from yesterday. So yeah.
Radio for Vitor. Heavy lift gear. We're not leaving him here.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, crazy fool. Why do you always jump? One of these days, you're gonna land on something as stubborn as you are. And I don't do bits and pieces. Where is she, Chief? Where's Cortana?
Halo 3 needs, and I think deserves, a remaster. It's part of the original trilogy, and it's considered to be one of, if not the best Halo game in the series. By the way, I'm more specifically talking about the campaign when concerning remaster. This is way overdue and would inject new life into what is already a great game with a great campaign. Honestly, it might even make the campaign better. Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 both had anniversary editions made and released when their respective games turned 10 years old. Halo CE was originally released on the 15th of November 2001, while Halo CE Anniversary was first released on the 15th of November 2011, exactly 10 years to the day. Halo 2 was originally released
to this day! To this day! As Deontay Wilder says.
On the 9th of November 2004, with Halo 2 Anniversary releasing on the 11th of November 2014 as part of Halo the Master Chief Collection for the Xbox One. Both games benefited from updated graphics. However, while Halo CE's gameplay and cutscenes used...
George, don't come me with that rubbish. You were going like this to you like that. So, and to be honest, the way you act sometimes, it seems like you're going to do even more than that. The way you bloody act sometimes. So,
utilise the same graphics. Halo 2's cutscenes were remade fully in CG, and aren't they spectacular? It's also worth noting that the new graphics created for the anniversary editions were just another layer on top of the old graphics. This is something I found out while doing my research for this video, so it's an interesting fact, that's for sure. Therefore, you could switch between the new and original graphics with the press of a button. Halo 3 was originally released on the 25th of September 2007, so its 10th anniversary was the 25th of September 2017, nearly 5 years ago at the time of this video. At this time, Halo the Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 Guardians, the latest entry in the series during that point, would have been the main focus of 343 Industries. The MCC was originally released on the 11th of November 2014, with Halo 5 coming out less than a year later on the 27th of October 2015. Additionally, based off this article, Halo Infinite started development around 2017, and most likely before September of that year, so the latest entry in the series would have been yet another focus for the studio. During this era, 343 Industries had their hands full with numerous projects, and remastering the Halo 3 campaign clearly wasn't a priority. Now, let's fast forward to 2022.
Hey, look who it is! Look who it is on the turret! Clone Force 99!
Yeah.
Jimmy C on the turret.
Halo Infinite is out. Its free multiplayer was released on the 15th of November last year, followed by the campaign on the 8th of December. According to this article on Game Revolution from the 29th of December 2021, 343 Industries has stated that it sees Halo Infinite as a platform to build on for the next 10 years. Whether they will hold true to that with the controversy surrounding the game, we'll see. To add to this, 343 are seemingly working on a spin-off to Infinite, rather than a sequel. Based on all of this info, a Halo 3 remaster or anniversary edition in the vein of Halo CE and Halo 2 looks unlikely, but never say never. Graphically, for a game from 2007, Halo 3 holds up well, especially compared to the anniversary remasters of Halo CE and 2. However, where it starts to show its age is during the cutscenes. A lot of aspects and details don't look bad, compared to Halo CE anniversaries, for example, yet the human characters' faces don't hold up. My first playthrough of the Halo 2 campaign was on the Anniversary Edition, and the human characters' faces looked fantastic in the cutscenes. Meanwhile, when moving on to the Halo 3 campaign for the first time recently, the human characters' faces looked significantly different and worse, as they would with the limitations of the graphics and technology available when the game was originally being developed. Frankly, if the cutscenes were recreated in CG like Halo 2's, I really think they would be something special, with improved and more realistic animations, and would make the epic campaign a more cinematic spectacle. I'd be fine if the gameplay graphics were kept the same with the cutscenes being replaced with CG ones. Understandably, making CGI cutscenes costs loads of money, as the ones for Halo 2 Anniversary's campaign most definitely would have. At the end of the day though, I feel like Halo 3's campaign is being left out from getting the treatment it deserves, and you'd think it would get it due to being the concluding chapter of the Bungie trilogy. Here's to hoping it will get one at some point in time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Be sure to give this video a like if you did, and maybe even subscribe to see more content like this, as well as reviews, playthroughs and game clips. Enjoy the rest of your day, and that is all.
Yeah, good video. I guess the main improvements, maybe you could have said why you don't think multiplayer would be warranted, like why you wouldn't want to see a multiplayer remaster. I guess you technically already answered that with everything you said in the video, but you could have said specifically like multiplayer is good, but I don't really think it warrants a remaster. But the thing is, what they could have done with a multiplayer remaster, if they had done a Halo 3 campaign one, is just use an already existing engine. So like Halo 2 multiplayer, I think used like one similar to Halo 4's. Looked very similar. Halo C Anniversary's multiplayer was basically a copy and paste of Halo Reach. So yeah, maybe something like that could be done.
Yeah, maybe.
Hold on. My hair is the same as yours, but longer. It's the same as you, but longer. If it's a bowl, but you just said mine was a curtain cut. You said mine was a curtain cut, and yours is a bowl cut because it's longer, George. I think mine's more a bit more slick, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I need to play. You need to play the whole trilogy, bro. You need to play out the whole trilogy. We have footage. Yeah, we have footage of the phone attack, and you're going like this to him, you mentalist.
Well, it actually looks like he gets to go.
Yeah, exactly. Careful, Jimmy C is close. In your bloody wet, demented fantasies, yes. Halo 3 needs some love. Yeah, it's like one of the best games ever. Yeah, I mean, what is there to really say? I mean, my opinion on if it deserves a remaster or not is, yeah, why not? You know, it makes the whole remastering of the Halo trilogy complete. But I know why they're not going to do it. It's because of reasons you mentioned in there, is that they want to make Halo Infinite a live service for like years to come with the multiplayer, and they're going to do a spin-off on it. And another issue as well is that the landscape of gaming has changed tremendously. Like, graphics from 2001 to 2011 were a humongous jump. Well, and same with 2004 to 2014. Well, graphics from like, you know, let's say 10 years ago to now, there's been a jump, but the jump is nowhere near as significant as it was before, because the better technology gets and the better we get at everything when it comes to creating games, the less gaps, the less jumps, the less it feels like there's less innovation. So that's also why they don't. They probably won't do a Halo 3 remaster, because they probably want to wait even longer to do one if they do it. I think it kind of is inevitable. I can't see them leaving the trilogy forever, but that's just my take. Have you got anything you want to say about your video?
I'm pretty happy with it. I can understand what you said about like mentioning the multiplayer, because I suppose I didn't really talk about that. I guess perhaps like this is more of maybe a creative choice, but perhaps I could have just used like Halo 3 music instead of the music I used in this video. But I guess that was before I started like using. Although then again, did I do this video? I think I uploaded this video after the Mario and Sonic one, didn't I? I think it was the next
I
one.
think so. I'll just get it up.
I mean, I know in the Mario and Sonic video I used the game music, but in this one I didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say that would have been a good thing to do. But there's more edits with the blurs and the text that comes up.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I did a bit more like I did a bit more with the like images as well. I think like panning up and down on the images and But I suppose since though, like or at least with the GoldenEye and Batman videos, I've used the game music for those. But it's probably something I'm just going to keep doing. It just works, and I think it just it kind of makes those videos a bit more. I don't know, like a bit more sort of authentic or whatever. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that Halo video. Yeah, I guess I could have just maybe used Halo 3 music instead. Yeah.
Fair enough. This is certain, not. This is curtain, not certain. Brilliant. Well, let's move on. Well, that was reacting to some of Liam's videos. We'll be sure to do more down the line. Maybe once I've got my Lego Styles video done, we could do a reaction to some James the Coltrane videos, maybe as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, now on to we'll do 2 segments. The first one is which is obviously the segment where I ask, how much would I have to pay you to do something? So, Liam, how much would I have to pay you to lose via stink face to George at WrestleMania? Minus £2. Minus £5. Minus £20.
Going the wrong way.
£1. £1,000. £10,000. Because you do realise how big WrestleMania is. It's like the biggest scripted wrestling event of the year. So £20,000.
No.
And when you have to take the stink face full on, like with you can't block it with your hands, and you have to go ease after you lose. so
all right then. All right, that's changed a few things. Yeah.
£100,000. £500,000.
Nah, keep it going.
$1 million.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it wasn't going to be that. It wasn't going to be that high until you mentioned. You got to. It's got to be like you got to go yes, and whatever.
You have to take it full on. You can't block it with your hands or move out the ring ropes.
Well, I kind of thought that would be the case, but you added a few more conditions, and that that changed things significantly. So.
What would have been before the conditions?
It might have been like before you mentioned those few extra things. It might have been like 50,000.
I love how just going basically because you said not blocking it wouldn't be. You assume that you wouldn't have to block it anyway. Just saying, jeez, after you've lost warrants an extra £950,000.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's
me and Liam both think these fantasies are weird. George, they're not fantasies, they're your bloody odd realities and wet dreams that you want to happen. But that was hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I do agree with you, George, though. It is weird. Yeah,
come on, it'd be boring. It'd be boring if I just said, oh, would you go for like £1, £10? It has to be something more disturbing and weird, doesn't it?
I know, yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just agreeing with George. It is weird. Yeah, quite embarrassing, really.
Let's move on to job slobs. So, would you rather be a door-to-door salesman or a flight attendant?
It's difficult, but I think I'd probably be a door-to-door salesman. I think.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, it does play. I think a flight attendant's like 24 to 25k a year, while door-to-door salesmen are on an absolute bloody fortune. They're on like bloody. I saw one job advertised. It said a £50,000 basic and an uncapped bonus, which ends up between like £150,000 and £250,000 on average.
No, that is surprising, to be fair, yeah.
And the job was in a pretty good, really good area. I'll tell you after the podcast where it was. It was a good area. But to be honest, the stress of walking up to someone's door and driving all around these areas and having to sell something at someone's door when a lot of people aren't going to bloody, answer the door. And anyone who does, most of them are just going to be like, not interested, not interested, not interested. And then sure, you're on like a 50,000. You're on, I'm going to look at, what's £50,000 divided by 12? I think it's. I'll just work it out on a calculator. For fuck's sake! So you're on like £4,166 a month. Then after tax, it's probably, I don't know, like maybe like 3,200 or 3,100. Is it worth? I mean, the thing is, so you let's say you're on that for 3 or 4 months, and then you haven't sold much, and you just get sacked. That's the main risk, really. But I suppose if you could at least get a few sales, and you got up to like probably, that 150 to 250,000, then yeah, I suppose it's okay. Can't be my realities; they're in your head. Well, George, you're the one who made a video called James and Liam Bum Each Other for an Hour, and then you put mine and Liam's head on it. So I think your fans, well, what's going on in your head is a bit more disturbing than my joke question. Flight attendant, yeah, I'd go for flight attendant as well. Way less pressure, and you get to basically, okay, you get to say like, I've been to like hundreds, like over 100 countries. Although you haven't, you've technically touched down base in those countries. And you can have a small whip around the airport and maybe have a little walk outside the airport before you have to be on the next plane. So, I'd rather be a flight attendant. I think there's a lot less pressure and you get the added benefit of being able to basically travel the world in some aspects, in a very small aspect. Obviously, you say, I've been to China, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong. And it's like, oh, cool, yeah. But I was only in the airport and walked down the street like for about like 20 minutes. So you don't really have much to say. It's not like you've been all around Beijing and you can say all the cool things about Beijing and whatever. But I guess some people's holidays are a bit like that anyway. Like some people, like my great aunt, she goes to Dubai with her daughter and she just like bloody I don't know, just like they're mostly just staying the UAE, the Dubai city, in the UAE. And they just like chill up the holiday place for a week. So you don't, you're not going to get like an experience of the UAE and what Dubai's like as a place. But, you say you've been there and you've relaxed at the holiday resort, I guess. So some holidays are like that where you just chill at one place and you don't really do that much. You just sort of let your hair hang low and enjoy yourself. So I can make 9/24. Oh dear. Ridiculous. So, but you'd be door-to-door salesman then?
Yeah, I suppose it was just because, I know with a flight attendant, you wouldn't have to like worry about, having to sell, like maybe try and sell something to someone or sell so many things to so many people that I suppose. Okay, you are dealing with the public with both jobs as well, but I don't know. I just thought with the flight attendant one as well. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of just thinking the fact that it's like it's on a plane, so it's just like a sort of small environment, and could be, even though it's unlikely, it could be potentially riskier in that respect. With you being in the air.
Oh yeah, with the plane crashing, yeah.
Or like a hijacking or something. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe just certain like passengers as well. Perhaps like it just depends on the people, but
yeah,
I don't know. I guess that's. I suppose it's not like I suppose it's not like being an air hostess, I suppose, but I don't know.
Well, what's the difference?
I don't know, really, actually. Actually, I don't know if there is much difference, to be fair. It's what I thought of, so...
I can imagine. I was thinking about pilots as well. I can imagine if George was a pilot, as an edgy joke, he'd just go, yeah!
yeah.
Ah, what the fuck? Oh!
Yeah.
The plane just going like that. And
then,
we were just having a minor issue. Don't worry, you bunch of fucking pussies. He might try. Loop-de-loop!
Yeah.
Oh, he might say, we've been fucking hijacked, help! And then George is just flying in a building. I'm only joking, you bunch of twats, cowards. We're gonna crash! I'm joking. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I can imagine George doing an edgy joke and then in his way out of it. Because I know he said at work, when he was at work, he had to stay over for 10 minutes and he managed to eat his way out of staying over for 10 minutes. He said he kept going, and then they said, you can leave. We won't make you do the 10 minutes. You can leave. So there you go. Oh, amazing. This is a question I always ask then. What is the next what's the next video then? Is it still the is movie game worth playing in 2023 or 2024?
Probably, yeah. I think I want to do videos on the RoboCop game and Super Mario RPG as well, but probably the movie game, yeah.
Ooh, cool. And as you all know, I've pretty much done the scripts for it now. I might quickly finish it off tomorrow. I just want to briefly talk about Arcade. What the hell is this? What the hell is this rubbish? This is an absolute nonsense. Dear I'll make a deal with you if James does any it or yes or no. On the podcast from episode 194 to 200, we can all use George Takes Over 5, the Chitler photo for the profile pics. What? No, George, I just kicked
I don't plan on using them, to be honest. Yeah.
So the thing is, George, you've completely failed there because this is my show. It's my podcast. You made a deal with the wrong person. If you both use that photo, I could just say, well, I'm leaving. And I have to be a part of this deal. You know, I don't agree to any terms, George. So you've failed once again. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not using, I'm not using a photo like that. So,
yep.
Have to think of something else, George.
Thing is, for the next George Takes Over, I guess, George, you can just make a intro that is crazy, but won't get the podcast banned, and you'll most probably just keep fueling, because my next intro is going to be absolutely ballistic. It is going to be mental. So You can keep you.
Oh, what, because of the Last George thing, was it?
Yeah, because of George using private messages. That's what mostly pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
Like using that private message really rubbed me the wrong way because I feel like there's a certain code that you take online to not bring up private DMs or private messages, especially between friends. And I mean, to be honest, all the things that George has said in private. George has said some mental stuff. Like, imagine if I used his VMs that said certain things, but I don't because I'm not. I'm a good friend who wouldn't want to sabotage someone like that. It'll be my episode, so I'll do the photos I want. No, George, I can veto them, you fool. I can still veto what you do. You can't just say, it's my episode. The only way that counts is if it's your stream. So if you did a podcast on your channel and I was on it, then you can technically do what you want. But if you went too far, I'd just leave. So, yeah. Well, but yeah, as I say, hopefully I can get some of the, the Lego Star Wars, the complete saga review recorded and a bit of editing stuff. You just told a work story I told you in private, and I never said you. Oh my God, George, come on, that's absolutely bogus. You and it, and that's a joke story. That's not something that's going to get you in trouble. That isn't going to get you in trouble at all. Your work probably knew that you were doing it just to bloody not have to work an extra 10 minutes, but they let you off because of your So yeah, that isn't not the same. You used a private message and completely use it out of context when I was just sending it to you as a joke. So that's completely different, George. Completely different. Well, we'll end that one there then. George, for all the mad banter, still big thanks for watching, and we'll end that one there then. Liam, as this is your reaction, do you want to say your outro?
Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and that is all.
See you, everyone. Take care.